Hi, good evening, and thank you everyone for joining us today here. Yesterday we had a conversation around connecting and what is listening. I don't know, it may or may not feel very convincing as of now. Of course, it's a different process. So thank you for showing up today and be interested in this conversation. Um, so I'm not really sure. Perhaps some of you were there yesterday. Some of you might not have attended. So just a very brief recap. A little about connecting. So connecting is Pune, India based NGO. It works in the field of mental health and very specific to suicide prevention. It's a non-judgmental, non-advisory, and a safe listening space to anyone and everyone feeling low, feeling distressed, and or feeling suicidal, irrespective of the situation that might be making them feel distressed or suicidal. The situation is not important at all. A little about me, as you can see, my name is Sweta, and I have been associated with Connecting for nearly 10 years now. I joined as a volunteer, then became a trainer, a mentor, and now I head trainings. So that's it about me. Uh, so Shilpa, with your permission, I would want today's session to be interactive. So guys, really this invite to all of you to raise your hand and interact. And we can talk about things, whatever you feel like asking, it's all right. However you feel like responding, that's also all right. And if at all you feel more comfortable putting things on Telegram, that's also okay. And if you feel like sharing your thoughts, your views here, that's fine too. So I can see two hands here, Ashish and N. Ashish, do you want to say something?
Shweta, I will unmute Ashish in a bit, and I want to tell everybody that we are streaming live on YouTube, and our call replay is going to be shared on our Telegram group and on email. So only if you're comfortable, you come on and share and ask us, speak with us. We will have a lot more covered today, Shweta. I would like to tell people, with your permission, that you're actually planned like a mini workshop for us to become better
Yes,
listeners and to not just to others but also to ourselves. And you're also going
yeah,
to take us through a guided process in how we can reach that state. And of course, we will have a live demo call, and Shweta will tell more about that later on. So, Ashish, you
yes.
are on. I'm just going to unmute.
Hi, Ashish.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I am from Navi Mumbai. I'm maths
Yes.
instructor.
Okay.
I teach maths for engineering aspirant.
All right.
I'm also very much interested in uh, psychotherapy.
Okay.
But myself also, the irony is that I am also suffering from anxiety,
Okay.
severe anxiety.
Okay. Okay. And
And
are you diagnosed?
due to that
Mm,
anxiety, I did not even
mm,
marry. I'm 46, but I am unmarried.
okay. So when you say because of that anxiety, you did not
Please speak
marry, what did
louder,
you?
little louder.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So when you say that because of that anxiety, you did not marry, what do you mean? How did that affect your decision to not get married?
I thought that I will not come up to her expectation of
Mm,
my wife.
mm, mm,
So
mm.
I cannot mm, come up to her expectation.
Yeah.
She wants to
Yeah.
be
But
happy. She wants to remain happy, satisfied, and
yeah.
I'm not. I was not,
Yeah, and you
because
feel that.
I'm also taking some medicines, psychiatric medicines,
Hmm.
like
And have they? Yeah.
sertraline and Dodemi and 81. I take medicine.
Okay. Okay. And have they
So
been helping? Ashish?
this is
Your
the
medicines, have
tragedy.
they been helping? Yeah.
Hello,
I asked, have the medicines been helpful?
I'm not listening. Perhaps I will have to connect with the speaker, because
Shilpa, am I?
Yes, Shweta, you are audible.
I will have to connect
Oh,
with the
okay.
speaker.
Okay. Okay.
Zabronics for life. Bluetooth mode. Zed County is now there.
You speak.
Is it better now, Ashish? Can you hear me better?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay. 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 So it seems like a very tough decision for you to take, that because of this anxiety, you didn't marry. And it's like a big part of you is missing that kind of a companionship. But you didn't want to affect someone else's life because of your own condition.
Yeah, very close. My girlfriend was very much committed, and she was
Okay.
very, but I denied to marry her. She was ready for everything, but I thought that,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
but I'm utilizing my time. My hobby is reading books. I
Hmm.
books, several kind of books, hundreds of books I have gone through,
Hmm. Hmm.
like
And
J. Krishnamurti, U.J. Krishnamurti.
yeah. So you're finding some meaning, you're finding some sense, and these readings have been helpful. That's what you're saying. You're on mute, Ashish.
What are you saying?
I said, when you say that you have read hundreds of books, it seems like there is something that you're looking for, any kind of
Actually, I'm in a
companionship. And
spiritual pursuit. Uh,
okay.
I, I, I was forced to enter into spirituality, and uh, but
Okay.
the attraction of this world is not gone.
Okay. So, Ashish, would it be all right if we complete today's session and
I'm
then
not
come back
able
to?
to. I'm not able to renounce this world, worldly attraction of money,
Yeah.
attraction of mm, women, attraction of power,
Mm,
position.
mm.
This is this world, but
Yeah. Yeah. So I
spiritual,
can see that. Yeah. Yeah. So right now it's
spiritual,
feeling very stuck between where you want to go and where you are presently.
yeah.
So Ashish,
You can say
will
that
it be all right? I'm
I'm
sorry. I
between
was
devil
just saying.
and the deep. I'm between devil and the deep.
Yes. Yes. Looks like that. And I wanted to invite you, if it is all right, that we finish today's session and see if you get some meaning out of it. And of course, we are going to have a live call, see how that feels like to you. And then maybe we can connect later. Is that all right? Frozen?
Shweta, I heard you. I think we lost
Yes.
Ashish, but
Yeah,
please proceed. If it comes up, I'll let him know on the group.
sure. Thank you. Thank you, Shilpa. Yeah, so as Shilpa mentioned, today we will look at. Yesterday we spoke about listening and what it does and how it changes the person who's listening to someone, how it changes the person who's being heard. So when it is listening, it involves two or more people and how it touches each one of us. So yesterday we spoke about all of that. Today, the idea is to give you a very small glimpse of what it takes to really listen, what we can do, and something that probably we all have been doing already. But uh, maybe we are not aware of that. We don't do it consciously. Maybe after today's session, you might want to pay a little more attention to what you have been doing and things that have been working, things that might work, and pay more attention to that. And today, you may also get some clarity in terms of what doesn't work. And then you can be mindful of not doing those when you are listening to someone. Is this all right with all of you? You can give a thumbs up, or if it makes sense, if you have anything to say. Thank you, Shilpa.
Looking forward, Shweta.
All right. And this is for all of you here. Of course, I can't see you, but again, inviting all of you to raise your hand in case you have a question, and to give me a thumbs up, at least to let me know if that I'm reaching you. So yeah, that's the idea. Uh, so coming back to listening, what it really takes, I would want to invite you, and um, I can only say, Shilpa, this is completely up to you. I'm totally okay if you feel like sharing it here. You can raise your hand and Shilpa can unmute you. If you feel more comfortable putting it up on the Telegram group, please do so. What do you feel? What do you think could be the qualities of good listening? Anything, you may go back to a conversation which you feel worked for you, and looking at the qualities of that conversation, even technically. Any opinion, any thought is welcome. What do you think could be the qualities of good listening?
We'll wait for
Anyone
people's.
here?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Let us know if you want to come on Zoom and tell us. Raise your hand, I'll unmute you, or please feel free to type on the Telegram group. In the meanwhile, Shweta, Nikita has just mentioned that your voice is cracking up a little in between. So, if you
Oh,
can
is it?
just, yeah, the connection actually, not your voice per se.
Okay.
But I think, is there anything you can do right away?
I am not too sure, Shilpa.
So,
Are you
what we
able to
can
hear
try
me
is,
clearly?
yeah. So, what probably can do is be a little louder. I
Yes,
think
I
that
can do that.
should
Of course.
work.
Yes,
All
I
right.
can do that.
Okay,
I can do
cool.
that. Yes, yes.
So, Shweta, Rupali has said that have patience to listen and empathize with the other person.
Have patience and empathize. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rupali.
And if I
I
may,
just saw, yeah, please.
yeah, say Shweta, what did you see?
No, I can see Kiran Pal is unmute.
No, no, Shweta.
Okay. Yes, Shilpa, you were saying something.
Yeah, Shweta, I wanted to add that I think uh, not judging them. I'm sorry, I'm taking up the tagline of yours, but yeah, I think not judging them is a
Hmm.
very important quality to be able to listen better, I think.
Yes, yes. So I have patience, empathy, and you saying that, not judging them. Is there anything else that any of you feels should be the quality of listening?
You can tell us, Shweta. I'm sure the
Yeah.
group is going to start buzzing soon, but please, you can start.
Yes. So I don't know. Probably you guys must be thinking about a lot of things that you feel could be the qualities of good
Hmm.
listening. But primarily, it boils down to three basic qualities. Shilpa, if you could share that slide, please.
Mhm.
So these are the three basic, very fundamental qualities for good listening. One is unconditional positive regard, empathy, and genuineness. These are the three things. These are the larger umbrella under which you can come up with a lot of things. But everything else, of course, other skills and probably techniques, whatever you want to call them, they are all there. But this is the foundation on which this entire, listening building stands. The foundation with unconditional positive regard, empathy, and genuineness. So, an invitation to all of you. Any understanding? What do you think this unconditional positive regard? This sounds like a very tricky and a very tough word, but what would it really mean?
Shweta, actually, I was going to ask you that what does this mean? It sounds something complicated. Is it as complicated as it sounds? And Beverly is saying to what you asked about listening earlier, that not to prejudge, not to
Not to
prejudge
prejudge.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
thanks for
interesting.
that,
Yeah,
Beverly.
that's very
Yeah,
interesting. Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah,
And Nikita says paying attention to what they say.
pay attention. Thank you,
Yeah,
Nikita. Yes, yes.
yeah. So, Shweta, I can't even think of guessing what this is, unconditional positive regard. Can you like lead us to it?
Yeah, so these are the three principles, three basic qualities, as I said. Unconditional positive regard. In a literal terms, it means to have this unconditional positive regards towards a person. So when I say unconditional, it automatically means there is no condition attached. It is unconditional. It really doesn't matter where that person is, how that person is, the capacity of that person. So anything, irrespective of how, where, and what that person is, to still have that positive regard for that person, to believe in that person, to really feel that there is something that this person wants, and there is something that the person is trying to communicate to me. To have that kind of positive regard for that person is very, very important. And Shilpa, perhaps, people may also want to know, like, why do we need to have, unconditional positive regard? Is it really required? So maybe, I can put myself in a situation where I think, a couple of you mentioned, like, not to prejudge. That was such a lovely
Yeah,
phrase to you. Like you said, non-judgmental, right? So just put yourself in in any conversation where you felt judged. And the moment you feel judged, you step back. You don't want to continue talking. You don't feel like opening up. It's only when the person is really holding that regard for you, that respect for you, you feel like opening up, you feel like talking. So everything that we talk about, this unconditional positive regard, it automatically leads to non-judgment. It's only when I am non-judgmental that I can be this unconditional towards that person, isn't it? I mean, if I have this judgment, I can't be unconditional. That's a given. So unconditional positive regard primarily in its literal sense means to have that unconditional regard, to also know that every being has some capacity, some resources. And when you listen to them with this unconditional positive regard, there is a sense of agency, and probably with time, they may also find access to their own resources and to make their own choices and to make their own decisions. Then there is a sense of ownership that then something has emerged from within. Then you feel like doing it. Yeah. So that is unconditional positive regard. Someone already shared, I empathize, or to empathize is a good quality. So maybe, probably the same person. I think it was Rupali.
yeah.
So if Rupali would want to talk about, what did she mean when she said that? What did she mean when she used the word empathy? Rupali, if you are here and if you feel comfortable talking, please raise your hand, or you can put it up on the chat. That's also all right. And it's open to all of us, though, if you feel like sharing. Empathy is one word which we keep hearing, which we keep talking about. What does it even mean?
It means being in somebody else's shoes without attaching yourself to that.
Yeah. And why did you say without attaching yourself to that, Shilpa?
Because I think if I attach myself to that situation or that person, I think I may not be able to empathize properly. I may probably judge or make some
Hmm.
assumptions. I
Hmm.
think,
Hmm.
and Shweta, till people process this and ask us some questions and actually move forward, there is a request, when you're done with explaining us this, if you can also share an example of each of these three principles,
Yes,
that would
yes,
be
yes,
great.
yes. We will come to the practicality of it, Shilpa. I'll come to the practical aspects of this, how it can pan out. So Shilpa, you brought up a very, very interesting point that when you actually get into the shoe, some judgments may come up. And here I would like to draw your attention, and when I say your, I mean everyone, I would like to draw your attention to the word judgment. So whenever we use the word judgment, the immediate focus is on negative judgments. So more like, Shilpa, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? What are you wearing today? All of this. So these are the things that really draw your attention. The difficulty and the challenge in this listening is when you jump into someone else's shoes, it's not just the negative judgment, it is also the positive judgment, right? Then you start experiencing all of those. Then you become that person. And when you become that person, then it's very hard to create that space for the other person because you have become that person. So when you say that you have to understand someone's feeling, but you also need to be mindful that they are not your feelings, they are someone else's feelings. So probably the same day someone has reached out to you and talking about anger, and you are angry yourself for some reason, then to be able to have a distinction between this is my anger, I was feeling angry, but what the other person is sharing is his or her anger, it's not mine. And then to not mix the two. So if you are able to keep, when I say separate, I don't mean separate as in distance. To have this distinction, there is a space for both of us in this conversation to really look at what is going on. Then I have some capacity to create some space for this person. Otherwise, I am like all over the place, feeling all of the feelings that the other person is feeling. Right? And that is why in this work, we really need to be very mindful that I am not sympathizing with that person. There is no sense of pity. There is no sense of helplessness. There is no sense of rescue. Because empathy also feels respectful. Empathy also feels equal. And where you feel safe and respected, things open up for you. You feel like opening up more, you feel like sharing more things can emerge, and as more things will emerge, more clarity will emerge. Is it okay? So far it is all right? Okay. Shilpa, I mean, if at all there is a question or if someone is sharing something on the Telegram group, you please interrupt me and share what they are sharing on the group.
Absolutely. In fact, there are a few comments, and Shweta, this sounds it sounds so hard. When you said you are all over the place yourself, and you need to understand and be empathetic to the other person. So I'm sure there's more coming up so that we can actually be able to do this ourselves in some way
Yeah.
or the other. So Nikita says, yes, we need to empathize and not sympathize. And when you asked Rupali earlier about empathy, she said at that time to sympathize with the person.
Mm-hmm.
But you have
Okay.
already covered that.
Yes, 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 yes. So thank you, Rupali, and thank you, Nikita, for sharing. So yeah, unconditional positive regards to really have that respect to that for that person, to really understand that there is capacity and there is a sense of equality. Right now, they may be uh, in a situation of distress. They may be feeling distress because of something. That doesn't mean that they don't have resource. There is always a sense of equality. So we always operate from the sense of equality. And same with empathy. There is respect, there is understanding. Empathy, in a very, very simple terms, empathy is love. I love you. The difference is that this love is not clingy. This love is not sticky. I don't love you because you fulfill some needs. I love you because you are that person. And I love you and I care for you, but there is no stickiness around that. There is no clinginess around that. It's very neutral and yet very powerful. Because if there is no love, why would someone even listen to someone? If there is no care, if there is no concern, why would someone do that for the other person? It's only because you really, if it's only because they matter to you in whatever way. Yeah. And coming to the third point, genuineness. It sounds very simple, but it is equally hard to practice. Genuineness means to genuinely, when I say unconditional positive regard, when I say empathy, people can also fake it. People can also use these techniques, but it is the genuineness that would bring about the difference in texture, that would make it feel authentic or inauthentic. So when I say genuineness, we genuinely have to believe that this unconditional positive regard and empathy are the basic qualities of listening. Genuineness also in terms of concern, genuineness also in terms of curiosity. So when you say that I've had a very rough day, Shweta, I do not interrupt or interject and say, oh, Shilpa, tell me about it. I've had an equally rough day. Right? When you say that I've had a rough day, Shweta, the genuineness in this relationship, the genuineness in this listening will really make me wonder, like, okay, let me see what how Shilpa has had a rough day. Let me just ask her. So instead of me coming in with any kind of statement, any kind of interjection, I make space for you. Oh, so you've had a rough day. So tell me about that. So there is a genuine curiosity, there is a genuine concern for that person, and you really want to know what that person might be really, really going through. And it is also interesting that when there are two people, so in connecting, we use certain terms which may sound very strange to all of you here. So one is felt sense. That's a very typical phrase, that's a very typical word that we use at connecting. And it actually means intuitiveness. So we are intuitively designed to pick up on each other's feelings. Like how you can pick up, even if the child doesn't speak, probably a few months old, and you can pick up if the child is in pain, if the child is hungry, if the child is cranky, if the child is sleepy. And same wah will tell you different things. We are wired for that. So this genuineness, and when I say that we are wired for that, so even in a conversation where I feel I am listening to you, Shilpa, you are also listening to me. It is never one way. So like I think yesterday also we spoke about that if I get shocked, you would not want to share more, right? You would feel, oh, probably it's just too much for Shweta to take. Let me just stop here. So though I was the listener there in that conversation, you were listening to my body too. You were listening to my reactions too. And this genuineness becomes extremely important in that case, because whether you are genuinely concerned, whether you are genuinely respectful of that person, whether you are genuinely non-judgmental, all of this will show up in a conversation. So from that space, this genuineness is very, very important. Yeah. So these are the three basic qualities of good listening. And as I said, really the blanket: unconditional positive regard, empathy, and genuineness. Are we okay like so far?
Very okay, Shweta.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so there is again like one word which I think whenever it comes to listening, it has kind of become a synonym: non-judgmental. What do we understand by that? What kind of conversations you feel, sound judgmental?
Shweta, where, let's say you say something to me and I bring in my beliefs and my assumptions. I think that is where just judgment just jumps in, even before you probably complete your sentence.
Yeah.
And Rupali says it's beautifully explained, Shweta, and I so agree with her. So yeah, about judgment, Shweta, I think it's that, it's just bringing in your beliefs and assumptions.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about beliefs and assumptions. Now, it's a very, very interesting question, Shilpa. What do we really judge? Do we judge the person? Do we judge the behavior? Do we judge a statement? What do we really judge? So, when we say we are non judgmental, have we ever thought of what are we really judging here?
Would it be, Shweta, that it differs from person to person and situation to situation?
Could
Like,
be,
for
of course.
example, I can think of somebody just crying for no reason, and I can just immediately jump and judge and say that why are they crying? You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
it's not even a big deal. So at that
Yeah.
moment, I will probably judge the person. And
Yeah.
then in another, if the same person is behaving in a situation in another way, then I will probably
Yeah.
judge the situation.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Shilpa. You're absolutely right. So there are like, we also have our moments sometimes. So uh, just to give you an example, I have a friend who I know is is like, she'll just say things for the sake heck of it. She just has to say something, no matter what, right? And there is a judgment in me already. So the moment she opens her mouth, I'm like, she is just going to say something. Even if she brings a lot of value to the table, I don't pay attention to her. That's a judgment. So I have already judged her. And because there is a judgment, I am not really paying attention to other aspects of her. And I am not paying attention to this moment to moment conversation. Maybe I have had 10 conversations with you. In 9 conversations, you said things just for the sake of saying. But for me, those 9 conversations have actually kind of, defined my relationship with you. So the 10th time you open your mouth, I'm already done with you. Right? So if you have someone who cries or who whines or who complains, we have already made our judgment. And without really getting into right and wrong, it happens. We are conditioned that way. And we do not pay attention to positive judgments because positive judgments are rewards. And the society is conditioned like that. Even as kid, we were rewarded only when we answered correct, only when we behaved well. So if things didn't work out, we were always reprimanded. Right? So we are conditioned that way, that you only have to pay attention to good things and you are worthy only if you are doing good things. The sense of self-worth is already dented. And then to have all these conditions like we have tagged. So without meeting anyone, I know in my head that the person who always cries is absolutely useless. The person who always complains is absolutely useless. So I have already created a box, and I have like, I don't know how many boxes we have. And every time we meet someone, we pick that person and we put them in some box. So when I say non-judgment, it is hard because we all have our values and beliefs. But to be mindful for that moment at least, that it's not about you. Let me see. To come in with that kind of curiosity. And to also know that, I don't know how this would sound, Shilpa, and to all of you, there is largely we judge the behavior. We judge people because they behave a certain way. So I always, like I said, that you're crying. And my mom told me that, crying is not good. It's just a waste of time. You should just know what to do about the situation and get on with it. Crying is for stupid people. Now I'm raised that way. Now it really doesn't matter who the person is. I have this condition that crying is useless. Now anyone who cries fits in this box. I am judging this behavior constantly. And because we are constantly judging behavior, we have no time, no capacity, no bandwidth to go underneath, to really look at and to really come up with this question. And not like a complaint, not like a complaint in terms of why does she always cry? To really wonder, why does she always cry? What is really going on with her? That could be an opening. That curiosity, that concern could be an opening. So every time we judge a behavior, we have to understand that that behavior is a manifestation of some feelings. If I am crying, that there is something, some unpleasant feelings that I am not feeling okay about. I am crying because I know no one pays attention to me. No one talks to me. Everyone takes me for granted. That could be one thing. Where is that coming from? So to take it like, a step further, probably it's a little too early, but I would still like to introduce it here. Each one of us here, present, each one of us, wherever we are, whoever we are, we have needs. Probably there is no person without any need. We all have needs. When those needs are met, we are euphoric. So happy. And that's such a pleasant feeling. When those needs are not met, they give rise to these unpleasant feelings. And if we do not have a space, if we do not know what to do about these unpleasant feelings, the behavior will keep manifesting. So just to give you a very small example, if there is a child, let's say 3-year-old child, and misbehaving with someone, people blame the parents. That's a general, conversation. Mummy ne dekha nahi, or dad ne, didn't pay attention to. But slowly, since that need, some need in that child is not being met. And for whatever reason, even as parents, we have some capacity. We are not like, we are not limitless as parents. As a mother, I have become a mother. That doesn't mean that my resources are limitless. We all have limited resources. So for whatever reason, I'm not saying that parents are wrong, but the child is being judged. Initially, the parents get judged because the child misbehaved. The certain needs continue to not meet. and the behavior continue to grow. Now the child is 19-year-old, now the child is 20-year-old, and then we start labeling the person. Now the parents have gone. Now we don't go back to the parents. Now the child is an adult, the child is responsible for his or her actions. Now we blame the child. At least in our work, Shilpa, we have come to see this, that everything starts from there. How we were supported when we needed support. And it just goes on, it just builds like that. And then that becomes our pattern, that becomes our coping mechanism, because I don't know how else to cope with that. I was made to believe that I was not worthy because my brother was doing so well in whatever, academics, non-extracurricular. Now, I know how to feel worthy only when I win. Just imagine, 18, 19 years of that same conditioning. I don't know how to lose. I am such a sore loser. I still remember, Shilpa, we had one call, and I can never forget this call. I was speaking with a volunteer who had such a difficult time supporting this caller. The caller called and was extremely distressed, because he was in the 12th standard. The caller scored 93, 94%, and super stressed. And here the volunteer, because when the volunteer spoke with me, the volunteer was like, Sweta, I didn't know what to do. I have been an average student all my life. I have never scored more than 70% ever. And I have always been like, 70% is like too good. And here I have a caller who scored 93% and still feeling distressed only because the expectation is to score 98%. Again, coming back to this, it is not necessary that every time the parents put that pressure. But the child is drawing, at least in this case, the child was drawing his sense of worthiness from those marks. So anything below 98% was not acceptable. Anything below 98% looked like a failure, seemed like a failure, and he was so distressed for that. So just see how this all pans out. Yeah, so yeah, I feel at least, today, if the takeaway could be to make that space for someone, not come in with any judgment, any opinion, any remark, any advice, any solution, no matter what. Hold yourself back. Even if you're able to hold yourself back for, say, 20 seconds, it's enough. That would also give you some space. And in those 20 seconds, just see for yourself if you're able to really focus on the other person and wonder, okay, let me just keep quiet for a while and see what this person is trying to convey. Just that, nothing else. You don't have to get into there is no technique, there are no skills. So here is like, this is how I would want all of you probably, to try this out. Just take a step back. Just hold yourself back for some time and make space for the other person. And you will also realize that in the process, you are also making space for yourself. Is it too much, Shilpa?
Shweta, I'm actually going to try this. It's not at all too much. It makes complete sense. All I was thinking was this is so hard, but we have to begin somewhere, and it is only by these 20 seconds. If I get that for
Yeah.
20 seconds, I think I will get to 20 minutes and then probably the next
Yes.
20 years. So
Yes.
definitely we have to start. And Shweta, this is really important, not just with people who make us feel uncomfortable. I think
Yeah.
we try to help others to probably make ourselves feel comfortable, I think, sometimes. So this is really important to just clear all those expectations, assumptions, and just be, Shweta, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Shilpa. Thank you. So yeah, I I don't want to, and that it's not even needed. I think yesterday we also spoke about how we don't have too many psychologists working with us as volunteers because it's not required. You just have to be human, and we all are human. There is always this capacity. Listening is there most of the time. Some conversations which feel more meaningful, where you feel more connected. You are doing this, but you are doing this without that awareness. So, yeah, I think after today, if at all you are able to do this a little more consciously, you put a little more effort in just holding yourself back for some time and see what emerges for yourself and for the other person. And the same conversation you can have with yourself too. So, everything like, I have had such a terrible day, my partner, my children, my house, my work, and I'm going absolutely crazy. And I'm constantly having this conversation with me. This one is stupid. That one didn't do the work well. That one, didn't respond on time. All of that. Take a breath. Take a couple of moments for yourself and see what is going on. And it is all right to tell yourself also out loud, I am really feeling all over the place today. And I'm so annoyed that none of my work or nothing is working out for me today. You deserve it. We all deserve it. We all deserve to hear it from someone, and that someone could be you yourself. So yes, this listening that we spoke about today, this unconditional positive regard, the empathy, the genuineness, it may feel hardest, but start with yourself. Because we are most critical of ourselves. We are very, very hard on ourselves. If others don't judge, we judge ourselves. And we are constantly judging ourselves. I didn't do this well. If I do well, then I'm always doubtful. I take criticisms to my heart, but if someone appreciates me, I just dismiss it. Oh, come on. So just imagine, we don't need others to judge. We are constantly judging ourselves. So start with yourself. Give yourself those seconds. Take a pause. And then do this with others. You don't have to get into counseling. You don't have to get into advice. You don't have to get into rescue. Not all the time. And even if you feel like, even if that advice is needed, let that advice come from a clearer space. And to have that clearer space, you need that pause. So I would be very, very happy if we can start from there, if we can just start with, this like a mantra, hold back, step back. Um, I don't know, probably I should give some time for this to sink in.
You'll probably take all of today and maybe tomorrow to say, let this sink in and practice, Shweta. In fact, it struck me that I wanted to try this with others, but you
Yeah.
reminded us of something so important. Try it with our own selves first.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder. And Shweta, I want to ask people, this is really powerful, life changing concepts. If you have any questions, let us know. We will ask Shweta. Shweta, Nikita has asked, and please you can go back to this topic and continue if there was anything you would like to share more. But she has actually asked that, sorry, I missed yesterday's session, but I am in Pune and I want to be a part of connecting, and how can I contribute to it?
Oh, how lovely, Nikita. Thank you so much. So, Shilpa, just a request. I mean, Nikita, we can't go back to everything that we discussed yesterday, but Shilpa, if you allow, we can go back to, how people can reach out to us,
Absolutely.
however they feel like, as wanting to call us, wanting to volunteer with us, wanting to donate us. And Shilpa, I also wanted to mention that we did receive donations. So thank you so much. I am not. I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm not sure. I don't know who that person was. But if the person is here, then thank you. So Nikita, we will go back to those numbers and those details. And yeah, you're more than welcome.
So, Shweta, shall I share my screen now? Will now
Yes,
be a good
please.
one? Okay, all right.
Yes, yes.
All right.
So Shilpa, yeah, we can start from here. So yeah, just a quick recap what connecting helpline is. A safe, non-judgmental and non-advisory listening space. It is free of cost. And we did speak about this yesterday. It is for anyone, everyone, for anything and everything that's bothering you. That's not feeling okay. It is not for solutions or guidance, for not for any kind of aid, financial, legal, or medical. If you are not a survivor of suicide, we won't be able to initiate a call from our side. And again, coming back to survivor of suicide, if you have attempted and survived, if you have lost someone to suicide, and if you have witnessed a suicide. So if you are a survivor, we'll give the number to you and you can get in touch. You can just give us a missed call or a WhatsApp and we'll reach out to you. And we do not mediate a conversation. We are not a mediation service. So yeah, if you feel like reaching out to us, these are our numbers, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. India time. And we are based in Maharashtra, so we offer this service in Marathi along with Hindi and English. So if you are calling us on these numbers, then you are making the call and someone would be there between 10 and 8. Someone would definitely be there to support you. I also want to tell you that most of the times the lines are busy. If at all you get a busy tone, if at all you get a message that volunteers are busy taking other calls, please don't give up. Please try again after some time or maybe, the next day. We spoke about survivor of suicide, and if you wish to be called, you can SMS on this number or you can give us a missed call on this number, and someone from our side would reach out to you. If you don't feel comfortable talking, because conversation at times feels a little overwhelmed, and for certain people, they do share that, talking makes them feel a little out of control. And when they write, they feel in control. So if at all you are that person and you feel comfortable writing, this is our email ID. You can reach out to us on this as well. And you will receive a response in 48 hours.
Shweta, if I may quickly interrupt you, for those who are listening to the replay and not looking at the screen or will not look later, I quickly want to read out the numbers if you want to store it and note it. You can call on +91 9922 001122 or double sorry +91 9922 004305. You can call from anywhere in the world. And SMS, if you're a survivor of suicide, you can SMS to +91 84 840 and you can email whenever if you're feeling low to distressmailsconnecting@gmail.com. Thanks,
And
Shweta.
Shilpa,
Please
we
proceed.
also missed, if at all you feel like, if you're here in Pune and if you feel like walking in and meeting us face to face, you can reach out to us on, any of these numbers or on our email, and we can fix a day and time, and you can walk in and we can support you face to face. And Nikita, as you asked, how you can join us. So you're more than welcome. We would be very happy to have you. And this is the number. So +91 7030 230033. So you can call on this number or you can send a WhatsApp on this number. And the person, his name is Chetan, he will reach out to you with all the details that you need. If you feel like writing to us, so for any other inquiry, you want to know something about connecting, even for volunteering, you can write to us at connectingngo@gmail.com. And thank you for the donations. And here are the details, the QR code. It is exempted from income tax. And yes, currently donations are only in Indian currency. We also have bank details and UPI ID.
Right. Shweta, thanks for taking us through this and all the details, everybody, we have shared on the Telegram group. And if you will receive this on email as well, so do note and connect.
So, Yashilpa, before we go ahead, just a little disclaimer here, and this is something that we share with all our new volunteers because we all want to connect with our loved ones. So when I was undergoing the training, every time I would learn a new thing, the first person that I would want to try it on was my husband, poor fellow. Every time he became my, guinea pig, and many a times I failed miserably. And that's where many of us actually learned it from our experience that doing this for someone you are not invested in is far easier than doing this with someone you are closely associated with. So if you're doing this, if you're practicing listening and all of this that you have learned, some of you may feel very excited to, just start it with your partner, with your parents, with your children, with your best friend. Even for them, it's a new thing from you. They would also wonder, like, what is wrong with you? Why are you not saying anything? Otherwise, you just jump in. To really give them that time also. And it may feel a little awkward in the beginning. The disclaimer that we usually tell our new participants is to not practice it at home. It's really like a very typical disclaimer. It is done, all the stunts are done under expert supervision here, so don't practice it on your own, because when it comes to your loved ones, there is a gamut of dynamics, gamut of emotions that come into play. And yeah, it may or may not work out. You want to try, please, by all means, and see how that feels like. If it doesn't, yes, it is hard. It is hard.
Thank you for that disclaimer, Shweta. It
Yeah.
is so instinctive, right? The first thing we want to do is try it with a family member.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. You're actually clearing everything without us asking it. It's like these are the first thoughts that come to our mind. So, Shweta,
Yeah.
thank you for addressing them.
Yeah. Thank you, Shilpa. So yeah, if you have any query, and or if you would like to have a live demo call, please let me know. Let Shilpa know on the Telegram group. We are here.
Yeah. In fact, everybody, I want to tell you that right now, we'll do a little demonstration of how when you call the helpline number, what exactly will happen. And trust me, Shweta is one of the best people you can speak with, like ever. So if you want to come on, experience this, you can change your name on Zoom today. You can go off video. You don't need to be on video. And if possible, you please speak in English, and so that we can, all of us can see how this benefits you. And you don't need to share any name, you don't need to share any detail, and this can be like an anonymous call. So I want to check if, okay, Ashish is not there, but if anybody else wants to try this today, please change your name. And after changing your name, you can raise your hand on Zoom. It is absolutely fine if you don't want to come live, you don't want to do this, still you want to experience it, go uh, type those numbers on your phone and reach out to the actual helpline. It is fine if you're not comfortable right now, but if you
Yeah.
are, change your name, put off your video, let us know, raise your hand, we'll have you on. Okay. In the meanwhile, I want to convey something that Beverly has shared on the group. She says that this is a beautiful addition to the Health Summit. Well done to the team. So thank you,
Thank you.
Shweta.
Thank you so much, Shilpa. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for that's very reassuring. It's very, very encouraging. Thank you.
Shweta, till somebody is willing to volunteer, I do want to indulge and take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the team and the audience as well for doing this work and at no charge. And sharing this, it's not mechanical, it is something deep. And you said empathy is love. I'm going to think about that because there is so many conditions attached with love. So thank you for sharing all this knowledge and doing this at no charge for all of us. And thank you for choosing this platform and sharing with everybody. So
Thank you. Thank you, Shilpa, for inviting us. And thank you to your team. A big thank you to your team for having us here. And a big thank you to the audience, to all of you, those who are here, those who stayed, those who listened to this conversation. Thank you so much for allowing me to present what we do at Connecting. And so, Shilpa, I would have loved to do this live demonstration with them. And at the same time, I also understand that it is difficult to talk. So, I mean, again, every time we look at someone else, we also see that it is really difficult to talk about our emotions as well. And if something is put so impromptu, you don't even know what to really talk about. So if at all, none of you is willing to speak right now, it's absolutely all right. But if at all you feel like reaching out at any point in time, you have the numbers, please call and yeah, experience this service.
absolutely. And if anybody missed out, that call there, that helpline there, it is anonymous. You don't even have to share your name. You don't even have to, it's not a video call, and you just call and you just speak, and the other person, the volunteer, they will listen to you. There is no time limit, there is no charge. Just have this number saved on your phone and go for it. Okay. Thanks, Shweta.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you. So let's wait for I mean, I don't know. If at all there is something I can support, I am here. But yeah, I do understand that it is difficult to talk, on a platform like this. So that is also all right.
Absolutely. So, Shweta, we can move on to what you have planned for all of us after the
Yes,
what you have, the important concepts you have taught us,
yes,
how to
yes,
integrate them. Please tell us what that's about and you can, take it on.
yes, yes. Thank you, Shilpa. Um, so I don't know how much we spoke about, the core principle of connecting yesterday. The core principle is mindfulness-based active listening. And this work, as I said, that it is overwhelming to talk about, your feelings and anything that is distressful. It is difficult for us too as volunteers to support certain conversations because we all have our own journeys, we all have our own pain points, and sometimes, when the speaker shares certain things with us, we also feel very triggered. And those are the moments when we really need to ground ourselves. Or maybe, once the call is done, I need to go back to something that can allow me to come back to equilibrium. Because if I don't do that actively, our body eventually comes down to equilibrium anyway. But the cell or the all the cells in our body remember, that experience. So we do certain it's not really a meditative technique, but a little mindfulness, probably script based, and whatever works for you. as a resource. So I would like to invite all of you, to be a part of this that I'm going to do right now. It's a mindfulness script. So maybe we can just start with, you can all put your videos off. You can keep it on if you're comfortable. Um, Sit comfortably and follow my instructions. So let's begin with just sitting comfortably. If you're sitting cross-legged, then also, just sit comfortably on the sofa, on the bed, on the floor. If at all you have some back support available with you, take that back support. If you are sitting on the chair, if you have your feet on the ground, then feet firmly on the ground. Keep your legs uncrossed, and your palms gently, keep them on your thighs. Sit relaxed, but let's not slouch. Let's be alert and at the same time be relaxed. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, maybe you can close your eyes. If closing eyes doesn't feel comfortable, then maybe you can keep your eyes open, look down, and have a soft gaze somewhere close to your feet. Okay. Let's bring our awareness to the breath. We can begin with 3 deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. A deep exhalation. Another one. And exhale. And the last one. And exhale. Come back to your natural rhythm. Don't try to change your breath anymore. Let it just flow naturally. Just keep your awareness to your breath. From your breath, you can also notice the actual physical sensation. Physical sensation arising in your body, physical sensation of this breath. Just notice whatever is present. And at the same time, feeling each breath as it comes in and goes out. As you sit here, allow yourself to form an image of the most magnificent mountain you can imagine or have ever seen. Letting this mountain to gradually come into greater focus. Just allow yourself to feel the sense of this mountain and its overall shape, its lofty peak or peaks high in the sky, its large base, its steep or gently sloping sides. Just pay attention to this mountain. This is your mountain, and it is the way you want it to be. Just notice how massive it is, how steady, how solid, and how beautiful, whether from far or from close. And it is your mountain. What do you notice? Do you notice snow or trees? Or is it rocky? Does it have streams or waterfalls, meadows or lake? Just notice how it looks, how it feels. Observing this mountain, noticing its qualities. Whenever you feel ready, just see if you can bring this mountain into your own body so that your body and the mountain become one. You share the massiveness and stillness and the majesty of the mountain as you become the mountain. Your head is the peak, your shoulders and arms the sides of the mountain, your hips and legs the solid base. Notice if you have the panoramic view as the mountain. And how does that panoramic view look and feel like? As the mountain sits, seeing and feeling how night follows day and day follows night, weather and season changing day by day, and the mountain witnesses it all. We, as this mountain, can embody the same groundedness in the face of everything that changes in our own lives, in our mind, in our body. We have our own periods of light and darkness, our own sense of strength and stability, our own thoughts and feelings, our preoccupations, our own emotional storm and crisis. They are very much like a mountain, witnessing the weather. They are not to be ignored or denied, but honored, felt, known for what they are, and held in awareness. keeping that same stability, steadiness, and solidness in your body, gently move away from that mountain. Withdraw completely and come back to this body and breath. We are not this mountain anymore, but we continue to share the same steadiness as when we were the mountain. And breathe in and breathe out. In and out. Anchoring yourself in your breath. Whenever you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes and look up. If at all you feel like having a sip of water or just sit quietly, please do so. So, Shilpa, this was just a demonstration, as to come back to this stability, come back to feeling grounded. It may or may not work for each one of us here. This was more like an idea to see what would work for you and to find that resource. If at all you feel like following this, then we practice visualizing a mountain. You can practice visualizing water, which is more flowy. That may work for you with you. You can visualize something else. So the invitation is to really find something that would work for you.
Thank you, Shata. This really was powerful, like the mountain, and very soothing effect. I am actually, thank you for putting that idea. I will try this with water too. So,
Yes.
Shata, thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shilpa, and really thank you to your team for having me here.
It was a pleasure on both the calls. We thoroughly enjoyed. Shweta, if there is anything left, please share. Please let us know. And I want to invite everybody to share your experience on the Telegram group. We will share the replay. Shweta, can we practice this process anytime we feel overwhelmed or anytime we want to ground ourselves, bring back to balance?
Eh, yes, Shilpa, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, you can practice it anytime you want. See, Shilpa, the whole idea is that there is no thumb rule in this, right? So for some of us, getting up in the morning and sitting for our meditative practices may work. Sometimes, when we are overwhelmed, we sit with all of that and meditate or practice mindfulness. If it doesn't work for you, that is all right. So I mean, like I said, it is just an invitation to all of you to just find out when, what, and how things will work for you. To just find a resource. So for some of us, when we are overwhelmed, sitting and getting into this mindfulness practice may feel difficult, and it is all right. I can't emphasize enough, Shilpa, that let's not judge ourselves. let's not be too hard on ourselves. If something is not happening, it is all right. And to also let all of you here know that the general belief is that when you sit for mindfulness practices, when you sit for meditation, you will get up feeling enlightened and feeling lighter and feeling happier. Just to let you guys know, I mean, some of you may have been like practitioners for years, some of you may be kind of new to this concept. It may make you feel quite miserable because whatever is there, these practices will just bring things to surface. So you may end up feeling probably, not so happy and not so chirpy and not so enlightened after your mindfulness practice. And then not to wonder, I did this and yet I'm the same person, probably feeling worse. So yeah, if that's a belief, then it's actually a myth. Mindfulness doesn't work like that. So just see for yourself, whatever brings you peace,
Shweta?
things.
Shweta, we lost you for the last 7 seconds. Can you please repeat your last sentence?
I said it is important to take care of you first. So as I said, things may feel overwhelming. You may not feel very happy and enlightened after your mindfulness practices, and it is completely all right. Start with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give that space and that love to yourself first before you offer it to someone else. If you are not well taken care of, it is very hard and unfair to kind of, to be a giver all the time.
Shweta, I think that is a powerful note to end this journey this time. Thank you for sharing everything over the last 2 days. Rupali and a lot of us have thanked you for the
Thank you.
meditation. Thank you once again for all the insights for this platform and for this process. I thank everyone for joining us yesterday and today as well. And Shweta, we are ready to end. Is there any last thing you want to share with us before we close?
No, Shilpa, there's nothing. I mean, from the depth of my heart, just take care, guys. Take good care of yourself. And at any point in time, we can be helpful. We can be of any support to any of you. Please reach out to us. Just take good care of you.
And if I may say, you too, Shweta, please do take care. And everyone, all the contact details for the helplines to become a volunteer and to donate are there on the Telegram group, and they will be mailed to you. So do take a look. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you once again,
Thank
Shweta,
you.
and to your
Thank you.
entire team and to Sandy as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks a
I'll
lot.
convey that too. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Shilpa.
Thanks. Bye everyone. Thank you.